Once you have the dashboard configured properly, if I have a particular template or something that I want to load, I can go to the user area and choose one here or choose a previous project that I've started on. I have a new project already loaded in the background, so I don't need to select that. Let me just go ahead and close this. And here I have a project. So the project is the working state of Bitwig at any point. And in this project right now, I currently have an instrument track, basically a MIDI track, and an audio track. I'm looking at an area that's known as the Arranger panel. When you're navigating Bitwig, all the different areas are known as panels, and you can navigate to them by either toggling different icons down here, or you can just learn simple one-button shortcuts, which make this really, really easy. All right, so let's talk about panels. This area at the top in the middle is the Arranger panel, but to be more specific, there's two parts of this. This area is the Arranger, and to the left of this, there's actually a clip launcher. And you can use both of these together if you want to, and you'll notice the tracks are aligned horizontally for both the clip launcher and the Arranger. It's pretty nice. If we don't need to see the clip launcher, there are icons here above this clip launcher. The one with the buttons lets us show and hide the clip launcher. The one with the long lines lets us show and hide the Arranger, and if there's no Arranger, we get a clip launcher. It's quite cool. There we go. All right, now underneath that, there's this area. This is currently showing us what's known as the device panel. All right. Now, the Arranger panel is one of the three main panels that you can switch between. This device panel is a sub panel that'll still be visible no matter which panel is up here. So let me explain. If we look in the lower left corner, these are the three main panels. All right. Arrange is currently selected. Let me click Mix. Mix takes me to the Mix panel. You can also use this more like a clip launcher. If you're coming from Ableton Live, that'll seem very familiar. Although there's numerous ways you can configure this. All right. The tracks here are vertical columns, and there is no Arrange panel for us to look at. We can still show the device panel at the bottom of the screen, though. If I look to the right of these main panels, here are the sub panels. This one with the notes will bring up a note editor. There's currently no clip for us to look at, so there's no editor for us to look at. Here's an automation panel. The device panel is here. Any devices, instruments, or effects will show up in the device panel, and if there's no devices loaded, I can click the plus button to bring up a pop-up browser. We'll look at that later, but let's say I don't want to use the pop-up browser. I can go to the right side of the screen. And over here is a browser panel. All right. We can see there's some buttons on the lower right, and these let me toggle what panel shows up on the right side here. This magnifying glass brings up the browser panel, and then I have all types of content I can look at. I can look at different locations, easily organize this stuff in search. It's quite nice. There's also a brand new project panel. Now there's some new settings in this project panel that are new to Bitwig 5. For those of you just getting started, this will just be part of your process, learning how this works. But when you're launching clips, you can either use the main settings or you can have alternate settings, which you can switch between pretty easily. And this gives you a lot more flexibility when playing clips. All right. You also have the ability to set up different sections. You can almost treat this like a playlist. This is a pretty nice addition, and it's good to be aware of this in the project panel. All right. You also have an I/O panel. You can do some MIDI mapping as well. And a nice little feature too, especially if you're on a Windows computer or a computer with a touch screen, there is a keyboard panel here, and you can configure the layout. And you can either use your mouse, and if you're clicking on the notes, you can drag up and down and left and right to affect timbre and pitch, and use this kind of like an MPE keyboard. It's quite cool. But anyway, so those are the sub panels that you'll run into. One more main panel that I didn't mention, there's also an edit panel. So if you want to edit an audio clip or a note clip, we can do that with the full screen editor. But one of the most important panels that you should get familiar with is the inspector panel over here on the left. You can toggle this by hitting this I button here. All right. All of these panels also can be toggled on and off by using a one-button shortcut. So the inspector, I can hit I. The device panel, I can press D. For the automation panel, I could press A. For the editor panel, I could press E. When you're in the Arrange panel up here, you can also bring down a mixer panel in the sub area by pressing M. And if I want to bring up my pop-up browser, I could press B. But that only works when you're in the device panel. See, now this pops up and I can start looking for content. So there's a lot of different panels here. You obviously don't have to bounce between all of these all at once, but it's good to have things configured and set up so that you can work more efficiently.